Hello everyone. In this short video presentation, we will build a custom data model for reference object or the customizing object. So we'll walk through the end-to-end process in SAP MDG and understand that how the custom data models are built. So we know that when we create a standard data object like a material master record or a business partner record, a supplier record or a customer record, then there are various different types of reference data or the customizing data that are required. So in addition to the governance of the material master record or business partner data records, often there is a business requirement to have the governance model or the governance process defined for the reference data and the customizing data. So we'll take a standard reference object which is part of the ERP system and used in many service industries. So let's take a reference object called as location as our example. So we may call this as a location, sometimes we also call this as a site. And we know that in a standard SAP, there is a standard data element by the name of ORTID, AORTID, and we'll use this reference object for building the custom entities in the system. So let's say if I go to SAP and I try to see a data record of a data type like ORTID. So you see this data element is a numeric entity with the length of 8 characters. So we'll use this data element. This is for the location business object. So first let's also figure out the basic steps that are required for building the custom data model, and then we'll walk through each of this step in further details. So to start the process, we know this is a custom data from a MDG perspective. So first is we need to define this particular custom object as a business object. So typically this will be the first need, that we need to create a new business object, and let's have a standard naming convention in the customer includes. So to define a new business object, let's use the business object with the naming convention of ZA. Let's call this as ZAC01. So in standard you may find that 194, 147, these are the OTC numbers, these are the standard object types, and the system allows us to create the custom object types. Then with this definition of the new business object, we will create a custom data model. And this custom data model, let's call this as ZA. So all these structures within the data model, so basically this is a ERM diagram, entity relationship diagram, which will include entity types, attributes, and if need, the various types of relationship. So we'll build a entity relationship diagram, and thereafter we'll define the business activities to link this data model with the process model. So we'll define certain business activities. So for this, let's call this ZABA. And after this, the next step would be to define a process model, and within the process model we will have the definition of the change request type, and let's call this change request type ZA create. So basically we'll take this use case for the logical action create, and obviously in the actual use cases these definitions may be different, but in our use case let's use this references. And the process model will also have an integration with the workflow system. So we'll use the standard workflow template, and let's use one of the standard workflow template, which is 46000027. So in standard SAP this workflow is a 4-step workflow, and so we'll use this for the configuration. And once we are through with the process model, we will then build the UI model. So in the UI model, so we'll have two different applications. One application we call this as a search UI, so which will include the search criteria, and along with the search result, the configuration of the search results. So basically there are different UIBBs. So we'll configure two UIBBs here, one for the search criteria and the another one for the search results. And we'll build the second UI model for single object maintenance or single object processing, and this is where the location data and the various attributes as defined in the data model will be mapped. So once so all the logics related to the application configuration, component configuration, communicator settings, including the different types of schemas like wire schema, UIBB schema, toolbar schema, will define all this in the UI configuration as part of UI model. And once we are through with data model, process model and the UI model, we will then define the roles. So we know that in order to work through the NWBC, you require a role assignment. So in fact we'll create a new role and link this new role to our WebDin Pro applications that we will create. And once this role definition is complete, we will then test the application. So whatever we have built, we will try and create a new location object in the system, and then how we will see this in the backend tables. And in this example we'll basically use the flex mode, So in fact, most of the custom objects, they basically refer to the flex mode. So all these entities that we will create will define this data model, and the corresponding entities as basically the flex entities, which means that the final data after the activation will be part of the uh, the active database within the MDG system. So let's walk through this this complete process, this outline that we have seen here. So step by step, we'll open the SAP system and we'll try and process this. So to start with, obviously this is a custom data model. So we will require a new uh, business object that needs to be defined. So I go to the MDG IMG, which is the customizing node for MDG, and within the menu options of general settings, data modeling, we will first define the new business object type codes. So this is the place where we see all these standard BO types or business object types defined. And for our new entity, let's call this as ZAC01, and let's call this as MDG location. So new business object type for MDG location. So I'll press enter and then let's save this. And with this definition of the new business object type, let's first try and define a new data model. And for this data model, let's first begin with the configuration workbench, which in itself is a WDA application, a web info application, and it's a web interface. So within the configuration workbench, in order to create new model, custom model, select new model, and we define ZA as the new model. Let's call this as MDG location. And in order to define this as a flex data model, we need to assign this to the active area, which in standard SAP is called MDG. Then we will need a custom namespace, so that all the data model specific structures will follow the naming conventions relevant for customer includes. So let's have a naming convention of so we'll call this as for the location ZL ZA, and in this training system, let's use the temporary object or the temporary package. Now after this basic definition of the data model,